Hello students, today we are going to learn the concept of mole and more about valency and radicals. So friends, let's say you are going to shopping. Here is your shopping list. Will you able to buy these items? I think yes. But what do you mean by these kg, liters and dozen? That's right, these are the units which we use in our day-to-day life to measure the quantity of things. Let me add one more thing in your shopping list, that is 1 mole of salt. Do you know how much is 1 mole of salt? You can guess how much will be the 1 kg of salt. This packet of salt is 1 kg. Can you guess how much is 1 gram of salt? I will tell you. If you take 1 teaspoon of salt, it is 5 grams. It means that 1/5 of teaspoon is 1 gram of salt. You can see in the picture. But again question is how much is 1 mole of salt? Students, at the end of this topic, definitely you will be knowing how much is 1 mole. Now 1 mole of salt is equal to molecular mass of salt in grams. Actually it is a definition of 1 mole. 1 mole is molecular mass of that substance in grams. Now we are calculating about salt. Okay, so let us split this definition and understand what is molecular mass. In previous video you have learned how to calculate molecular mass. Hope so you have practiced it, you have revised it. Molecular mass means we have to calculate the mass of one molecule of salt. For that we should know the molecular formula of salt, and that is NaCl, sodium chloride. Okay, so let us calculate molecular mass of NaCl. For that we need to add the atomic mass of sodium and atomic mass of chlorine, that is 23 plus 35.5, and our answer is 58.5 Dalton. Means molecular mass of sodium chloride is 58.5 Dalton. But 1 mole, that is molecular mass in grams, and that's what molecular mass in grams of salt is 58.5 grams, and that is nothing but the 1 mole. So 1 mole of NaCl is equal to 58.5 grams. Let us understand better with one more example. In previous video we have taken the example of sulfuric acid and we have calculated its molecular mass. So let us take the same example and we will calculate the 1 mole of sulfuric acid. For that again first we have to calculate the molecular mass of sulfuric acid. So let us calculate it. As we have learned, the molecular mass is the sum of atomic masses of constituent elements. Here H2SO4 is made up of hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen. So we will add their atomic masses. Atomic mass of hydrogen into 2 plus atomic mass of sulfur into 1 plus atomic mass of oxygen into 4, because 4 atoms of oxygen are there. So if we put on the values 1 into 2 plus 32, that is the atomic mass of sulfur. So 32 into 1 plus 16 into 4. So if we calculate, we'll get the answer, that is 98. So molecular mass of sulfuric acid is 98, and that's what molecular mass of sulfuric acid in grams is 98 grams, and that is nothing but the 1 mole of sulfuric acid. So one more example is there. We will calculate 1 mole of water molecule. So we have to calculate the molecular mass of water. So let's calculate it. Atomic mass of hydrogen into 2 plus atomic mass of oxygen into 1, and if we put the values we get the answer 18. Means molecular mass of water molecule is 18 Dalton, and that's what molecular mass of water in grams is 18 grams, and definitely 1 mole of water will contain 18 grams. Okay, so 1 mole of water is 18 grams. So guys, from these examples you must have understood what is 1 mole of a substance, and let us frame the definition of 1 mole. So 1 mole of a compound is the mass of that substance in grams, okay, equal in magnitude to its molecular mass. In short, we can say molecular mass in grams, okay, and the SI unit is mole. Now mole can be expressed not only in terms of mass, but also we can express in terms of number of particles, that is number of molecules present in the substance. Practically it is not possible because number of molecules are going to be very large, and as the molecular size is very small, molecules are very tiny, and we need to estimate them. We can't guess them, we can't calculate also, so we need to estimate them. So we can calculate them by using formula. So number of molecules is equal to mass of substance in grams divided by mass of one molecule. Here we are calculating number of salt molecules, right? So number of salt molecules in 1 mole, and that is equal to, first the mass of a substance is 58 grams, and divided by mass of one molecule means molecular mass of salt, and that is 58. But it is relative molecular mass, and that's what relative molecular mass means. What it is compared with hydrogen, and that's what this mass is, 58 times of hydrogen, and that's what we need to multiply 58 with mass of an hydrogen atom. So it will become 58 divided by 50 into, now mass of hydrogen atom is equal to the mass of proton. We have learnt it, right? And that is 1.67 into 10 raised to minus 24. And if we calculate it, we'll get the number 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Okay, so number of salt molecules in 1 mole, that number is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Let us take one more example. We'll find the number of molecules in 1 mole of water. Again the same procedure. First, number of molecules, formula we have to use, mass of substance divided by mass of one molecule. Now here the mass of substance is 18 grams and mass of one molecule is 18 into H. Same thing we have to do. We have to put the mass of hydrogen atom, and that is 18 into, we have to write the mass, 1.67 into 10 raised to minus 24, and if we calculate it again we'll get the value 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Friends, we have calculated number of molecules in 1 mole of salt and in 1 mole of water also, and you must have noticed that in both the cases we got the same number of molecules. That number is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. It means that 1 mole of any substance contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules of that substance, and this number is constant for all substances. Let it be water molecule, let it be carbon dioxide molecule, number of molecules in 1 mole will be 6.022 into 10 raised to 23, and this number is called as Avogadro's number or constant. Why it is called as Avogadro's number or constant? Because the Italian scientist Avogadro did pioneering work in finding the number of molecules in 1 mole, and that's what this number is called as Avogadro's number, 6.022 into 10 raised to 23, and it is denoted by letter N to the subscript A. When we say 1 dozen of banana, it means 12 bananas, right? Number of bananas in 1 dozen are 12. When we say 1 gross of notebooks, immediately we come to know there are 144 notebooks. Similarly, 1 mole of a substance is how much? We have learnt it, 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Okay, so 1 mole is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Now friends, you have understood what is 1 mole, and you also know how many molecules of substance are there in 1 mole, and that is Avogadro's number. That also we have learned. Now let us learn how to calculate number of molecules in a given mass of a substance. For example, if you consider 80 grams of water is there, so how many molecules of water are there in 80 grams? Or if you say 50 grams of carbon dioxide is there, so how many molecules are there in 50 grams of carbon dioxide? So that we are going to learn now. Okay, so let us understand by solving given question. Question is, how many molecules are there in 54 grams of water? What is asked? How many molecules are there in 54 grams of water? So we know that how many molecules are there in 1 mole of any substance. So let us calculate how many moles are there in given mass of substance. Means first step, first you have to calculate number of moles in a given mass of a substance. So that we are going to calculate first. So that for that we will use the formula, number of moles is equal to mass of a substance in grams and divided by molecular mass of that substance. Here we are taking the example of water molecule. So number of moles in the given water molecule is equal to mass of water molecule in grams divided by molecular mass of H2O. Now here molecular mass, what mass is given? That is 54 grams. So we will write 54 divided by molecular mass, means molecular mass of water, that is we have calculated it, and that is 18. So after dividing this we get the number 3, right? It means that number of moles is equal to 3, means given grams of water contains 3 moles. Now we know 1 mole of water contains 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. Now we have to calculate how many molecules are there in 3 moles. So 3 moles of water contains 3 into 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. And when we calculate it, we get the value 18.066 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. It means that 54 grams of water contains 18.066 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. In this way you can practice more sums. Okay, and now we are going to learn more about valency. Friends, you know that atom forms chemical bonds by using electrons of its outermost shell, and valency of atom is determined by the configuration of its outermost shell. Configuration of outermost shell means how many electrons are there in its outermost shell. Depending on that, valency is determined. Valency is not the number of electrons in the outermost shell. By considering that number, valency is determined. Let us consider the example of sodium. Now we are going to learn what are the valence electrons, what is the valency shell. As I have told you, the last shell means outermost shell of an atom contains electron, and those electrons are considered for finding the valency, and that's what those electrons are called as valence electrons, and this outermost shell is called as valence shell. If you consider the sodium, valence electrons are 1, and that's what by giving this electron, sodium can form chemical bond with the other atom, and that's what this is the capacity of sodium, that only 1 electron it can give, and this capacity is nothing but the valency, and that's what valency of sodium is 1. So what is valency? The capacity of element to combine. Okay, this capacity is called as valency. Let us learn how elements form chemical bonds either by giving or taking. Just now I have told you they either give or take to form a chemical bond. Okay, how it happens we can consider with the help of this given example. Now electronic configuration of sodium is 281, means it has 1 electron in its outermost shell. So it can give that electron to another element and form chemical bond with that element, right? So if you consider only chlorine atom, chlorine has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. So instead of giving 7 electrons, it will prefer to take 1 electron to complete its octane and to form a chemical bond with another element. So here sodium gives 1 electron and became a donor and carry positive charge, and chlorine takes 1 electron and carry negative charge. A chemical bond is formed between, by this give and take, chemical bond is formed, and sodium and chlorine results into the formation of sodium chloride molecule, that is salt molecule. Here you can see the picture that sodium wants to give that electron to complete its octet or to complete its stable state, and that's what he is saying, just take it away. And the chlorine wants 1 electron to complete its octet, and that's what chlorine takes it. So friends, by giving 1 electron, sodium becomes donor. Here you can see sodium gives away 1 electron, and that's what it becomes a donor, a happy guy. So and because of that it carries a positive charge, and these positively charged ions are called cations. But chlorine borrows 1 electron, becomes recipient or borrower, and carry negative charge. You can see in the picture, and these negatively charged ions are called anions. So what are the cations? Cations are the positively charged ions, and anions are the negatively charged ions. Do you know friends, in 18th and 19th century, the laws of chemical combinations were used to find out the valencies of element. But nowadays electronic configuration is used. In 20th century, the relationship of the valency of an element with its electronic configuration was recognized, and that electronic configuration means outermost shell electronic configuration is used to find the valency of that particular element. So according to that, valency is defined as the number of electrons that an atom of an element gives away or takes up while forming an ionic bond is called the valency of that element. Now the number of electrons that are given away or taken up, they are always a whole number. Means it's not like that 1.5 electron is given or half electron is taken. It's not like that. It is always a whole number, and therefore valency is always a whole number. Let us revise the concept of valency with the help of given table. You can see that lithium, atomic number of lithium is 3. Electronic configuration is 2, 1. Means 1 electron is in its outermost shell. So valence electrons are 1 and valency is 1. Boron, 5 atomic number. That's what electronic configuration is 2, 3. 3 electrons are there in the outermost shell. So valence electrons are 3. And by giving away these 3 electrons, boron can become cation, and that's what valency is 3. Oxygen, 8 electrons, 8 atomic number is there, and electronic configuration is 2, 6. Now valence electrons are 6, means outermost shell has 6 electrons. So instead of giving away, it prefers taking 2 electrons to complete its octet, and that's what valency, the capacity. Okay, valency is 2. Neon, if you consider, atomic number is 10 and configuration is 2, 8. Neon has already completed its octet. It is already in stable state. So being 8 electrons in the outermost shells means valence electrons are 8. So its valency is 0. Now silicon, atomic number is 14, 284. 4 electrons are there in the outermost shell and valency is also 4. Now in under different condition there are some elements which atoms of some elements give away or take up different number of electrons. Say sometimes they give 2 electrons, sometimes they give 3 electrons. In such case those elements exhibit more than one valency, but obviously they will be having 2 or 3 valency. This property of element is called variable valency, and the atom or element is said to be a variable atom or atom with a variable valency. Now here consider the example of iron. Iron shows variable valency, that is 2 and 3. When the valency is 2, it forms a compound FeCl2, and when valency is 3, it combines with 3 chlorine atoms and forms FeCl3. So friends, in next video we are going to learn about radicals and their types, and we will also learn how to derive chemical formulae of a compound. So see you soon. Thank you.